Dead as a Doornail, Book 6 of the Stan Kraychik Mysteries. Author, Grant Michaels. Publisher, St. Martin's Press, New York. Narrator, Eric Aust. Chapter 16. Most people have a special place of fear, a locale or a situation that causes sweats, nausea, anxious hallucinations. Doctors have diagnosed these symptoms as adult onset MIDFG, a recurrence of the pediatric syndrome known as Mommy, I Don't Feel Good. My own place of psychic darkness is that dubious hallmark of civilization known as the gym. Having spent my later school years dreading or avoiding gym class, I assumed that as a so-called adult, I would be free of the humiliating arena. But here in the last moments of the 20th century, hordes of people are defining their very beings by their choice of gym. No self-respecting gay man can afford not to belong to one. You might as well have leprosy. It's true. Go to any gym and you'll find every sissy who couldn't climb rope in 7th grade is now preparing feverishly for the greased-up Gwendolyn decathlon and beauty pageant. So, is it excruciating peer pressure that drives me to seek out Chip the Coffee Boy's gym? Or is it Chip himself? One thing is certain, I am not looking for love. I've had my fill of that. I'm not even looking for friendship, but that's not saying, given a proper invite, I couldn't lose myself in temporal and corporal pleasure with Chip's meticulously cultivated body. The worst he could do is reject me. In fact, it's a sure bet he will, if I even bother to try, which I won't. So with nothing to lose, there is nothing to fear. I tell myself that no one will laugh at me either. That's all in the past. Besides, today I am only a visitor, a civilian in civilian's clothing. I walk and finally find the old converted church in the deeper part of the South End. It's so far south, it's almost in North Dorchester, which, as far as I know, isn't even on the map. The building is huge, no mere ex-church. Maybe it was a cathedral once, or even a basilica. There's a hand-carved plaque at the main entrance, apparently to maintain the spiritual quality of the place. It reads, South End Kinsological Society, or SEKS for short. Inside the stairway goes down, all the way to Subterra. Down there are 2 heavy plate glass doors that open onto a vast underground cavern. What was once a vacant foundation for the towering edifice above is now a boundless workout floor for SEKS. I go in. The lighting inside is all indirect, which gives the place a soft, spooky, secret feeling. It's quiet down here too, almost silent, yet the largeness of the space stirs the air about my ears. The stillness is broken by the occasional whoosh of a controlled exhale, or the quiet clang of metal plates allowed to graze each other, or a languorous and painfully subdued moan somewhere far off. This is a place of ritual, of worthiness, of death or transfiguration. Those are the only choices. Become a god or die. There's no bulletin board announcing high step, low step, or 12-step aerobics here. No slimnastics, no jazzercise, no bun-burning, pec-popping, ab-crunching specialty classes. No lunchtime express sessions, no one is in a hurry here. You have your whole life to transmogrify. All that's waiting is a cloud of incense or maybe a fog machine and halogen spots. For this is Boston's temple to the body. This is where Chip, the coffee boy, prepares himself for those espresso-pulling floor shows at members-only cafe. A big muscular hunk with a shaved head sits behind the reception center. He asks quietly, reverently, if he can help me. I tell him I'm just looking, thanks. I survey the workout floor and see that the obscure object of my desire is out there. He's sitting on a bench and wearing his familiar garb. Black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, black sneakers too. The only skin visible is that of his head and hands, which is further emphasized by his dark hair. He's almost completely covered up, and I wonder if it's modesty, which would confer a kind of sweetness on him. That far from being an exhibitionist, this bodybuilder is shy. Or is Chip's concealment of flesh an expression of puritanical severity? Or worse, is Chip simply withholding from public view that which the public is not worthy to see? He runs one hand slowly up and down his other arm, pausing during each pass to feel his forearm, upper arm, and shoulder muscles. And then he switches and does his other arm the same way. He executes the movements lovingly. The actions are familiar, yet removed from the mundane surroundings of the cafe. Chip is no longer a coffee boy. He appears to be someone else. The way a movie star looks different on screen or a dancer on stage. He looks toward the counter where I am standing, and even from the distance I can see his cool blue eyes. He seems to regard me with a cold, judgmental gaze. I am young and beautiful, and you are not. I am lithe and muscular, and you are not. I am erudite, and you are not erudite. No, wait, that's me. Chip's eyes are saying, I eat only what is good for my body, and you do not. I am God, and you are not. I disapprove of you. Well, everything he's thinking is true, which I suppose gives him the right to scorn mere mortals like me. But doesn't he have just one little flaw, something hidden maybe? Like the fact he enjoys reading clinical studies on intrafamilial bloodletting. But all my imaginary flagellation is for naught, for when Chip sees me, he smiles broadly and waves to me. Ah, joy! Oh, bliss! He recognizes me! I take these signs as an invitation. True, I may be hopeful for that invite I mentioned earlier. Yesterday, he says, pointing his big, beautiful, manly forefinger at me, at the cafe, right? Right, I say. I almost didn't recognize you with the new hair. I ran my hair over the bristles. I needed a change. You sure got one, he says. So you're looking for me? In the whole world? Kind of, I say. Well, here I am. What'd you want? Are you thinking of joining up? With a quick down and up motion of his eyes, Chip checks out my body, then makes a little smile that implies I'd better say yes. Maybe, I say. You found the best place, he says. You won't bump into a lot of people you know here. My mind projects an X-rated film of shower room antics you might not want your noted colleagues to witness. But if I joined, I say, we'd know each other. Hell, we don't know each other, says Chip with a broad smile. Does this anonymity improve our chances of shower room antics? I blurt, gee, you don't even sweat. What am I saying? What am I thinking? Have I lost my mind? Does it show that I want to bury my face in this guy's flesh and become anaerobic? Chip keeps that easy smile on his face. I'm not working out now. I just finished with a client, and she's getting ready for a competition. She? This is a mixed gym. He's still smiling. I look around, and sure enough, the guy is right. There is an occasional female body, though little of any estrogen in the place. Even the doors to the restrooms are marked girls and boys, as if to expunge any reference to gonadal hormones. And again, maybe the designations are supposed to lighten the prevailing atmosphere like a small talk at a wake. Chip is still smiling at me, and I realize I'm filtering my vision to see only what I want. One thing I definitely should not want is to be attracted to this guy. It would be too shallow, too meaningless. But how can I not be attracted? It's like telling yourself not to look chocolate. Nutritionist and cardiologist admonish you, but your resolve melts as easily as the wafer of Swiss bittersweet on your tongue. Dietary restraint is overwhelmed, and your mouth can only say, more, more. Chip says, come on, I'll show you around. Not the shower room. Anywhere but the shower room. The guide walks away from me with the slight limp he had yesterday, or merciful heavens, there is a flaw. Maybe there's been a heart in there somewhere, and my attraction to be based on an inner beauty as well as the superficial miracle of his body. Hurt your foot, I say. Oh, it's nothing, he says. Pushed a little too far in my last set of calf races. Like I thought he was doing point work. Does it hurt much? Says Flo Nightingale. Oh, no, no pain. No pain, says Chip. I ask him how long he's been working out. You mean here? He says. Or in my life? Who cares? Here, I guess, in Boston. He seems to forgive my blundering efforts at small talk. I came to Boston last fall from California. Last fall, I repeat. So you missed all the trouble around the SCCA Recreational Center? The where? I explained SCCA. It's the South End Community Alliance. It's a gay organization that was building a state-of-the-art gym. Actually, it was going to be just a few blocks from here. Is that so? He says. You didn't hear about it? Chip says. Must have been before I came to town. Still, with your work at the cafe, I thought maybe you heard something about it. Chip smiles. I don't pay much attention to what people say there. See? He has depth. Did you ever know a guy named Tim Chignasi? Chip thinks a moment, then shakes his head. Doesn't sound familiar. He worked on that project. He was real cute. A construction worker. Had red hair like me. I mean, like mine was. Chip smiles, and once again, the judges vote him a winner. Can't say I ever do him. We move on to more important matters. I ask, which part of California are you from? Which do you think? Southern, I say. You have that look. Which look? The good look. He smiles again. It's no wonder he does it so much with such nice big white teeth. He probably has a special workout for them too. Well, you're right, he says. I lived in West Hollywood, the best place in L.A., and the best shower rooms too. I say, so if things were so good out there, why did you come up to Boston? I needed a change, he says. Just like you with your hair. But I didn't move 3,000 miles. Chip says, I wanted my life to feel new, and the easiest way to do that was to move. That is, unless you're into drugs. We pause in our stroll around the floor, and he asks me, do you do drugs? I'm not sure how to answer him, because it's pitiful to admit this, but I want him to like me, and I know that drug use can mark the first and last boundaries of a friendship. Chip doesn't wait for my answer. I don't, he says. They mess up your body. I don't even take protein powder. If you can't nourish yourself properly with food, then examine your diet. If you need to change your headspace, then move. So there is a bit of puritanical severity in the god after all. What do you do? He asks. Oh, I'm between jobs, I say. You got some money? A bit. How much? His directness stalls me. Sorry, he says, and once again flashes that smile as if to cloak the nakedness of his question. In L.A., when you ask someone how much money they have, they tell you it might not be the truth, but they tell you something. See, I want to open a restaurant and I'm looking for backers. That should be easy for someone like you, he says. I've got to learn how to cook first. I meant the money part, I say. It should be easy with your looks and ambition. Chip smiles again as if to acknowledge the facts of life. Trouble is, he says, everyone wants sex in return. It could be worse, Chip. How? They could want their money back. For some reason, Chip thinks that is funny, and he laughs. It's the first time I see and hear him laugh. It looks like something else he cultivates along with his muscles. Maybe in L.A. you have to know the right way to laugh, too. Once he stops laughing, he says, you know something? I like you. What's your name, anyway? I resist a moment for her. To tell him will bring us closer to knowing each other and further away from those shower room antics you can do only with strangers. I'm Stan, I say, Stan Kraychik. He puts out his beautiful right hand and says his name, Chip Holton. Glad to meet you. I shake his hand. Of course it's strong. It's perfect like everything else about him, but I don't care about that. I don't care at all. Chip says, so how did you find me here? Someone told me. Who? I can't say it was Myron. That association will kill any hope of a future with Chip. It's all right, he says. You don't have to tell me. But if it was one of my clients, I'll give him or her a free workout. It's too hard to resist this guy. It was Myron, I say. Oh, says Chip. But we're not friends. That's all right, says Chip. No, honest, he's not my cup of tea, Chip laughs. Not mine either. People like Myron. I guess they're harmless, but he sure likes to oogle the guys. Maybe some guys are oogleable, Chip smiles. The first time I caught him staring at me, I stared back. He took that to mean I was interested. Silly man. Next thing I know, he's giving me things. Things with strings, I say. Not me, says Chip. There's no strings on me. No flies either. Not on those sweatpants. He says, so you're thinking about working out? Maybe. You might have some great potential there. Really? I say. Suddenly, he lunges at my body and starts feeling it through my clothing. Do you mind? He says. This is the only way to tell. It all happened so fast, I find myself giggling coquettishly. His hands are experienced, expert even. They know exactly where to find things that belong and things that don't. But his touch doesn't convey interest. It's clinical and cool, and though my body is happy for the attention, however analytical, I know that Chip Holton will be repulsed by his findings. So much for shower room antics. Finally, he steps back and delivers his report. Once you get your body fat ratio down, you've got a lot of natural muscle and bone tissue in your favor. That's thanks to my mother. I'm a damn good trainer, says Chip. I have excellent references, and they can show you their results. I'm not sure I'm ready to sign up. The only thing is, he says, I always tell a new client right off, just so there's no misunderstanding. I'm straight. Oh, I hear myself say. Then comes the throbbing haze of embarrassment, and I force myself to sound blithe and cheery. That's okay with me. Damn that Myron. He warned me, and no wonder Chip's touch is so remote. It really is business to him. Chip says, most gay guys get the wrong idea when I start touching them. Silly gay guys. Chip goes on. But in this business, you're working with the body, and you have to touch it. Sometimes it gets a little personal. You've got muscles everywhere, and they all have to be worked and touched. Right, says Chip. But it's strictly business. Absolutely, says Chip. With me, business is business. Just like that other profession, the world's oldest one. He says, I like gay guys, though. They're interesting. So are aardvarks. I tell him I'll think about it. Bodybuilding, that is. Oh, no problem, he says. I'm pretty much booked solid anyway. Is this the only gym you work at? Only here, he says. You want me, you join this gym. And if you do become a client, just remember, I'm not gay. You've made that perfectly clear. Sometimes people forget, says Chip. Gay guys can get fixated on their trainer, and then they start hoping he's gay too, because he represents how they want themselves to be. Oh, those silly gay guys. Not me, I say. That's good, says Chip, because it shouldn't be a problem. I'm straight. You're gay. What does it really matter? When you put it that way, it doesn't. But how does he know about me? Oh, hell, how else? Because it shows. Chip says, just let me know when you want to start, and we'll set up a date for your first workout. The first one's on me. Then, depending on how it goes, we can sign you up for a 6-month intensive. After which, I say, I'll look just like you. Not quite, says Chip with a patronizing smile. And you understand that my services are not included in the gym membership, right? Or God's services included in church offerings? I never thought otherwise, Chip. See you around then, buddy. See you around, I echo. As I swagger toward the exit, I remember the most important aspect of my mission, the whole reason for my being there at all. I almost forgot. Chip, I have a message for you. Or for me. For Myron. Myron, he says. He said to tell you the time. Chip looks at the watch and says, oh, shit! So the god says naughty words, too. The next thing I know, he's dashing past me like a horse out of the gate. He bounds up the stairs and out of the building. Gone, just like that, and still in his priestly workout garb, too. But the final image of Chip's firm, bountiful butt, taking those stairs 2 at a time, has imprinted itself on my psyche. I leave SEKS feeling stronger, more supple and viral than before, and I haven't even done my first rep. All because some straight hunk is willing to give me his time and some very personal attention in exchange for my money. Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold: to offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides, and in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.